welcome back to Rachel and Reformation. I'm Rachel. We are going to be doing yet another video diary. Surprise, surprise. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. But if you do decide to leave a comment, don't make it nasty, Karen. No one wants to hear that shit. I'm going to start this video a little bit differently with a little chit chat. For those of you who do not know, I am a nurse. I left my job in order to take care of my son who's critically ill. I have 4 children. I have a 19-year-old son, I have a 15-year-old son, a 13-year-old daughter, and then Killian, who is my 2-year-old son. He has hypoplastic left heart syndrome, and he is the reason that I left work to stay home as a full-time mom. Now, since leaving work, I decided to homeschool my other 2 children that are still in school. So that would be the 15-year-old and the 13-year-old. Homeschooling them in order to prevent germs from coming in and out of the house as much as I can. I know that's not completely possible, but at least during the beginning of all of this, it made it a little bit easier to control who my kids were around and who Killian got exposed to. Next year, I'm hoping that I will be able to send them back to school. Now, my 19-year-old and my 15-year-old, well, I don't think Quentin can get vaccinated yet. He's 15. I think he has to be 16 to receive the vaccine. But once my 19-year-old and my 15-year-old get vaccinated, I'll feel a little bit better. I think I'm going to send everyone back to school next year. Now, the 19-year-old, he still lives at home, but he works full-time, and, you know, he's a big boy, so I don't have to worry about him too much. The only thing I worry about is him bringing things into the home, germs and such. When I say that my 2-year-old is ill, he is fatally ill. There is no cure for what is wrong with him. Only palliations and things that we can do to make his life longer and hopefully better. Killian has hypoplastic left heart syndrome, but that doesn't define him. Killian is like the most beautiful, wonderful child. He lights up a room. Everyone loves him. He's just the cutest darn thing. He makes everyone smile. He has people praying that hasn't prayed in years. Just everyone really wants what's best for him, myself included. So without making this too complicated, long and drawn out. So editing Rachel here, just wanted to give you a little medical disclaimer.
The information on this video is not intended or implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. All content, including text, graphics, images, and information contained on it is available is for general information purposes only. You are encouraged to confirm any information obtained from or through this video and any other sources and review information regarding any medical condition or treatment with your physician. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay seeking medical treatment because of something you saw online. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So from now on, I'm going to call hypoplastic left heart syndrome HLHS. So HLHS occurs when the left side of the heart is underdeveloped or doesn't form properly while the fetus is developing. Normally what happens is you have the left side of the heart and you have the right side of the heart, and they act as separate pumping chambers. In hypoplastic left heart syndrome, what happens is the left side of the heart, maybe I should be on your left, the left side of the heart is severely underdeveloped and often does not function at all. And the right side of the heart tends to be enlarged in most cases. There's some other things that go along with it, but without making it too complicated, there's some mitral valve problems, atrial septal wall defect, completely intact, things like that that can make stages of hypoplastic left heart syndrome. So 2 kids with hypoplastic left heart syndrome are not created equal. There's so many different things that go into it that I don't want to make this like overly complicated. So all you need to know, left side of the heart underdeveloped and not functioning as its separate working pumping chamber, and the right side of the heart is enlarged, which can make it weaker. So as you can imagine, if your heart has 2 separate pumping chambers and one of them is not functioning at all and one of them is functioning subpar, even if it's not functioning subpar and you have this one that's completely not functioning, that can cause a huge problem with the circulation of the baby. Now, the reason the baby is able to continue to grow in the womb and be born is because that fetus is functioning off of maternal circulation. So it's not completely functioning on its own circulation. It's the mother is supplying that baby with that. So that's how the baby is able to continue to grow to term in the womb. The problem that comes into play is that when the baby is born and maternal circulation stops and newborn circulation begins, there's nothing going on here that's good. So without that circulation, oftentimes the baby just dies. So depending on how severe the hypoplastic left heart syndrome is, what other things they have going on. They can die at birth. If it's undiagnosed, they can die 5 days later at home, you know, just like a SIDS type thing. This is undiagnosed. The reason that it doesn't go as undiagnosed anymore as it used to is because this is an ultrasound diagnosis. So when you go to your doctor, I think I was 12 weeks, my first ultrasound, the ultrasound technician can see that on the imaging, on the ultrasound, and alert the doctor. So I think I had my first one at like 12 weeks or 14 weeks, and they were able to see that, brought me back at 16 weeks for clear imaging, and that's when I got Killian's diagnosis of hypoplastic left heart syndrome. So Killian is one of those cases I was telling you how some is more complicated than others. He had an intact septal wall, so his first surgery occurred while he was still in the womb, so they could open that atrial septal wall, and I'll go more into detail with that later. I just kind of wanted you to understand his anatomy while I proceed with everything that's going on with him, because we did meet with the transplant team, and I still have that video to make. It's been harder than I thought to go through the information and discuss it, so that's still coming. But what I want you to know is that if Killian does not get the transplant, he has a 100% chance of mortality. If he does get the transplant, he has an 80% chance of mortality. So if we choose to do the transplant, he does have a 20% chance of survival. Now comes in the decision, so many moral and ethical and so many variables and so many factors coming into play. It's even if he's going to be eligible for the transplant, if he's a candidate. And I'm actually waiting on a phone call today. They met yesterday to discuss like finality of going ahead and starting with the testing for transplant. So it's a lot on my plate, plus working on finishing this house up so that we can sell it. Want to get it on the market. We need to downsize everything. Just trying to make sure we're in the best place financially for Killian, especially if he does get transplant, because unfortunately our insurance has not been the best about covering things. And so, for example, I took you guys along with me to get those leg braces. I just got the call that they're ready to start making them, but should they proceed, because Anthem will not cover the leg braces and they're going to be close to $700. The glasses that we got, you know, a few weeks prior, Anthem will not cover the glasses, and we don't have this. We do have a separate vision insurance, but they will not cover them either. So $350 out of pocket. So as you can see, this just kind of adds up. Plus missing my income as a nurse because I had to leave my job. There's no way I could take him to all of the things he needs and keep a job. So that's why I'm here. So anyway, I want to get into this next video diary. Today we have physical therapy, and after that I'm coming back home because Lucy and I are going to start trying to work on the house some more. We really need to get this done as soon as possible because we'd like to get it on the market ASAP. So without further ado, well, let's get into it. Just got home from therapy, and if you're ever wondering why I film in my car, it's because when I'm in the house, I can't find a free moment to myself. So I try to do it when I pull in the driveway so nobody knows I'm here, but then I deal with this. Never a dull moment.
Mom. 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 Mom.
Get you out of here. Get out of here. You got booger.
Oh, don't cry. Yeah. Go get you Kenzie's kisses. You denied my kiss. Ben does that too.
The whole thing in the nutshell. The whole thing.
You got your hair cut.
In your chair. Turn it round. Good job, Pete. Look. Together. Up, up, up. Up, up, up.
I think that's where I'll leave it for this one. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch you in the next one. Love you. Bye.
Rest. Can you rest?
Here you go.